Welcome to the Verd and Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin, joined by video call with my guy G-Sportz. G, how you doing, man? Been a minute.
Good, man. Good, man. Everything is everything.
How was your Super Bowl weekend? Just everything coming down to New Orleans. Did you get to dabble in it? Tell me about the experience, and then react to the Super Bowl for me real quick, cause damn.
Yeah, I was out there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I kind of went home Sunday. I didn't want to kind of be involved in all the traffic and all the people that was out there. Saturday was crazy with everywhere you walk, you had people on top of you from all over the world, man. So I don't really do well with big crowds like that. I got a chance to go to the convention center and do a Super Bowl segment with Colleen Wolf. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was tough.
And gave my prediction, which I was correct. I was way off on the scope. I had the Eagles winning 27-21, but we all know it didn't play out like that. I think when you look back on the Super Bowl, it came down to something very, very simple, and it was the Eagles being able to play two deep high safeties, not have to blitz and get pressure on Patrick Mahomes with a full man pressure. And
that was beautiful.
That was definitely the key to the game. They was able to double Kelsey and keep safeties over the top, and it made Mahomes flustered all night. And I thought that was the key in the game. And then I thought Jalen Hurts just did a great job. I mean, he had that one mistake, but I think he did a great job of extending plays with his legs and finding a receiver down the field. And the O-line did a good job blocking for him. And so, the Chiefs couldn't three-peat, man. And Jalen Hurts, man, he deserved it. Everything he's endured in his career. The last time they played in the Super Bowl, how they lost, it was good to see him go out on top, man, and have a good redemption story.
Shout out Devontae Smith too.
Boo boy.
Yep, getting I don't know. Does he have a state championship?
No, he lost against Luxor.
Ooh, damn! I was about to say he'd have every one of them, but I remember seeing that photo. They were like last time he was in the dome, it was that game where he was sitting in the end zone, like all sad, and now he got the big one. He got
John Tree Kirkland. For Luxor, man, went crazy that game.
And then he wound up playing. Didn't he wind up playing quarterback for LSU in that bowl game?
Mm-hmm. The last bowl game. Yep.
Damn. Speaking of, hey, we got some quarterback moves to talk about here in a little bit with the Juwan Johnson stuff. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this NFL Combine. We don't want to jump the schedule too much. They announced their invites: Mason Taylor, Will Campbell, Garrett Dellinger, Miles Frazier, Emory Jones, Savion Jones, Braden Swinson, and Zy Alexander. So most of these guys, G, in my opinion, I think they made their case, right? I mean, if we're going to be talking about the Mason Taylors, the Will Campbells, the Miles Fraziers, I think that, obviously Will wasn't at the Senior Bowl, but the other two, they got their job done there. And Will Campbell obviously has had years of film to be able to back that up. So I think for Mason, it's just show off the speed a little bit, show off the route running, the hands, maybe the IQ. If you're going to do the meetings and the test and all, that's where he's going to kind of, excel. For Will Campbell, I know you were talking about the tackle or guard spot. Like, what is he going to be able to go between? At the Combine, if you're going to be a guard, in my opinion, I feel like you're just showing off the strength. You're showing off the power. You're showing off, how strong you are, bench press, yada, yada, yada. Tackle is more like the athleticism, more the speed, the 40-yard dashes, the three cones, this, that, the other. How fast can you be? How agile can you be? So if he really wants to stay at tackle, he will have to ball out and show how fast he is and, kind of try to raise those numbers a little bit. Same thing for Emory Jones. I think that's really the most interesting one out of all of them. I think he's got the most ability to rise out of everyone. So, I mean, this is going to be an interesting month for Big 50. And for Savion Jones and Braden Swinson, I got the same notes. Show how explosive you are, especially Braden Swinson. I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere as a shock for a lot of people, but I think the potential that he has, it's off the charts. If he goes and just lets everybody see, the potential he's got, I think he's going to be a surefire third, fourth rounder. And Zy Alexander, I think he does need a huge day. And I don't think just NFL Combine will do it. I mean, maybe he can ball and raise the stock and take everybody's attention, but I think he's going to have a great Combine and a great pro day. I think it's going to have to be double-sided for him. And it's not saying he didn't do enough. It's just saying that a quarterback spot is competitive. And I just think sometimes, they got to kind of prove themselves a little more. That's just my take on it. What do you think about the Combine? And do you think that there's anybody here that just has to ball out? No questions asked.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that Will Campbell will be the highest pick out of everybody from LSU that's going to the Combine. I don't think he has to do too much to even prove himself anymore. I think the film speaks for itself for the last 3 years. When you talk about somebody like Zy Alexander, though, I think he is the one that has the most to gain. I think if he tests as well, I think you can see Zy mess around and get picked in the top 3 rounds of the draft. Okay. Right? And Zy was clearly LSU's best corner last year. He did a great job of coming back from that knee injury and proving that he can play on this level. And I think when you talk about that length, you know, he's 6'1", 6'2". I think his wingspan is around 77, 76 inches. That's just some measurables you can't coach. And we talk about his mindset and his ball skills and his technique. I think he's for sure a person that could be a sleeper in this draft. So I'm looking for Zy Alexander, man, to go out there and test well, look good, drill work, and improve his draft stock. So he's the one that I'm paying most attention to.
And I'm glad you brought up that injury, right? The whole conversation around, I mean, not even just him, but the LSU defense going into that USC game. If our guy Blanche is watching, he remembers it. Is Zy going to be healthy? Are we going to be able to rely on him? And that was a big part as to why Sage Ryan had to start at corner. You know, they had to kind of ease him back into that role with Zy Alexander and that major injury he suffered. But with how fast he was able to turn that corner and how much he was able to do and how much they were able to lean on him, I was very impressed because, it ain't always easy coming back from something like that. It ain't as easy as just putting the pads on and getting back on the field. You got to trust yourself. You got to get through the tough, grueling process. I mean, it's rough. It's not always easy. Let's talk about, speaking of process, speaking of it being rough, I think that's going to be the explanation as to why Juwan Johnson moved to quarterback. I mean, if you didn't hear the news yet, he was DBS starish last year. Then he moved to running back with the situation with John Emery when there was a lack of depth, and that one kind of made sense. But now, as of yesterday, with the roster being released, LSU says Juwan Johnson's going to be their quarterback. So your quarterback room right now is Garrett Nussmeier, Michael Van Buren Jr., and now Juwan Johnson. I'm going to just have to guess, and this is no confirmations. This is just pure speculation on my end, but I just don't think Colin Hurley's probably going to be healthy enough to come back fast, as they expected probably. I mean, they had that situation with him. That's my only guess. The only thing I want to say here, though, is that he needs a hybrid role. He's not going to do much as quarterback 3. Would it be good to have him practicing and potentially, ready to take that position if it somehow opened up? I feel like it's all right cross-training him, but you got to put him in something else. I think he's talented enough where he's got to see some playing time. He's not going to do nothing at quarterback. Is it a safety measure? Sure, but, I mean, let's get him another role, too. What do you think they're going to do in this situation, and what was your initial reaction? Because mine was just straight-up confusion.
I mean, this got to be a move where they're thinking they need to have some depth in that room. That's the only thing that makes sense here. I would hope that Juwan Johnson still has an opportunity to play running back or go back to the DB room. If he's just putting all his eggs in one basket to play the quarterback position, I think he needs to reevaluate that, in my opinion. He's too talented and too good of a player to just be sitting on the shelf behind Garrett Nussmeier and Michael Van Buren, who, when you talk about 2 quarterbacks who has experience playing in the SEC. So it's not like you're about to do anything to surpass either one of them coming next year. So I think it's a depth move, man, and I hope he still has an opportunity to play the running back position or go back in the DB room.
Yeah, because the amount of talent that he's got, it's just, like you said, it's sad to see it not be utilized. And it's also one of those things where it's like, you don't want to be in that spot next year where you're missing a little bit extra oomph in the DB side or what have you. I feel like the running back side's pretty good, but I guess my end-all be-all point is you don't want to get to next year and realize you needed more help than what you got. And I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen, but I think Juwan Johnson definitely should do multiple things.
Right.
Just because he can. I mean, if he was the backup guy, it'd be a little different, but I don't think he's going to see much opportunity.
I think if he stays in the running back room, man, he'll have a lot of opportunity. You got to think about, Caleb Jackson. He's going to probably have a good chance to be that second running back behind Caden Durham, right? Well, he's a different type of running back than Caden Durham. Yep. Juwan Johnson is more his running style is more like Caden Durham. So I think still being able to be in that running back room suits him well, and he'll have a lot of lot of chances to be able to make some plays next year because we know that running back position, especially in the SEC, right? It could be a lot of wear and tear on your body. Yep. And so, I know JT Lindsay's coming in. I know Harlan Berry's coming in, but Juwan Johnson actually has experience. So I hope, he's quarterback 3 on the depth chart, but I would really, really be devastated, and I think Tiger fans would be devastated if he's not still playing some type of running back, having some type of running back role next year.
I agree. Yeah, dude got a touchdown. Like he already got into pay dirt. I feel like that's enough experience in and of itself. And to build on that point you were talking about, straight up, Caden's the elusive back, Caleb's the power back. The next best elusive back would be theoretically Juwan or Harlem, and Harlem is very green, and we know, and green in a sense where he's new. Nothing is really expected of a freshman until you see that they are able and capable of the moment. And it's kind of just one of those things where the opportunities are going to have to arise. I feel like the trust and the coaching staff's history with the roster moves and like all the position changes they've been doing, I feel like they really go with the experienced guys. I mean, we can even dial it back to 2 years ago when we were talking about where's Womack, where's Whit Weeks, where's pieces like this. Sometimes these guys lean on the experienced pieces. You're playing competitive football against NFL caliber players. Most of these people in the SEC can play on Sundays. You can't rely on someone that just started playing college ball. And sometimes it works, sometimes it does, but more often than not, they're probably going to lean on their experienced guys. So, yeah, I agree. I think Juwan Johnson would potentially see some opportunities at running back, especially more than quarterback. It don't really make too much sense to me. Let's talk about this offensive line room because I'm still learning them, right? I feel like you got a lot of additions, a lot of turnover. I think you lost 4 of your 5 starters. It's a whole new room. So got some good news to start off with. The future's still looking bright. Number 9 offensive tackle committed, Bryson Martinez. Brad Davis is keeping on. You know what I mean? He's got recent success. He's got a lot of good draft picks going into the league. You said Will Campbell's going to be the top 1 drafted out of this class, and I have to agree. It's going to be for sure top 8, top 10-ish. My question to you, G, do you think Brad Davis can keep up this success? And from a depth standpoint, who do you think moves spots? Who's the guards? Who's the tackles? Who's the centers? What do you think your all too early spring offensive line starting 5 would be?
I mean, I think it's obvious Braylon Moore, the center from Virginia Tech, is going to be plugged in right there. Josh Thompson, the guard from Northwestern, I think he's plugged in at that guard spot. And I think the both tackle spots are up in the air. DJ Chester started at center and he did pretty good. So he moves over to the other guard. So I think that left tackle and that right tackle spot is the ones that people are trying to figure out who gonna be there. Will it be Tyree Adams? Will it be Weston Davis? Will Solomon, the big Solomon, what's his last name? The 5-star, the All-American. Solomon Thomas. Will he come in and have an opportunity to start as a true freshman, right? Is up in the air. Will Borderline have a good spring and try to surpass them? Kyrie Lee, I mean, is up in the air. It's really up in the air. And so I think the offensive line will be fine next year. Tyree Adams, he had a lot of experience last year, played tackle and he played guard. So if he is one of the tackles that starts next year, I think Brad Davis will be real confident in him. Weston Davis has all the tools.
Yeah,
really good. I just think he got to put it all together, man, and show Brad Davis that he could be consistent in his technique. And if you do that, man, I think LSU offensive line should not have a drop off next year. When you talk about those guys we talked about,
and if the offensive line does not drop off, you already know what I'm gonna say, G. This is their playoff caliber team. I mean, you're in a situation where you're returning enough production, and if you cannot miss a beat on this side, which is my biggest question mark on the offense, might be my biggest question mark on the whole team. How can they replace all of these people? If they do it, you're in a pretty spot. Let me talk a little bit about the depth, though. You said Weston Davis. I'm going to throw Ori Williams in there, too. Both of those guys, giants. I think Weston's 6'6", Ori's like 6'8". Those tackle spots, the future does look bright. Then you throw in Paul Mubanga. Then you're throwing in someone like Cohen Eccles. I mean, they got big dogs in that room. It's going to be interesting to watch how it all, kind of transpires. That's the first thing I'm looking at, though. I think spring ball kicks off on March 8th. I don't know if it's a Thursday or a Tuesday. Running out there, going straight to Brad Davis. I'm going straight to the trenches. That's what I need to report on, man. I got to see what's bracking with the starting 5.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it's gonna all play out.
Let's move on to some NOLA talk. New Orleans Saints, G. I want to hear your reaction. Is Kellen Moore a good hire? I feel like you can't go wrong with somebody that just won a damn Super Bowl. Like, and dropped 40 points on the Chiefs defense, who I was worried was gonna slaughter the Eagles. I'm impressed. Hats off to you, Kellen. What you think? How you feeling?
Wasn't my first choice, but Kellen Moore has a lot of experience, with the Cowboys and the Chargers and the Eagles. We're calling plays, and he's had some success. He knows how it's supposed to look, and he's seen it done a multitude of ways. And you can't go wrong with somebody that just came off a Super Bowl winning year where he was the play caller. With that being said, is he suited to be a head coach at this point in his career? I don't know. It's a big question mark. I've been following Kellen Moore ever since he played at Boise State as a quarterback, and always seemed like a cerebral guy, a guy that's a student in the game. But it's just a difference when you're the head guy and you got to lead a bunch of grown men in his NFL. And so I think one of the big keys for him, man, is going to be who the defensive coordinator is going to be. I know they're talking about Staley supposed to be somebody he's supposed to hire. He already came out and said he's going to be the one that's going to be calling the plays. So the offensive coordinator is really not going to be that big of a deal. Whoever he decides to hire, I heard it's supposed to be, it might be Nussmeier. We'll see. But him calling plays and having a head coach and do this in his first year, I don't know. I don't know about that. I know Cliff Kingsbury tried to do it with the Cardinals, and it took a toll on him. And so I just think when you're that young and this is your first head coaching opportunity, I'm kind of on the fence about him calling plays in year one. I don't know. And with the salary cap situation, we know we stuck with Derek Carr for at least one more year. Can he revitalize Derek Carr and get him to play at a higher level? It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see. So am I upset about the hire? No. Am I excited? No. I'm kind of in the middle. But we all know, man, it's a quarterback-driven league, and what Derek Carr has shown since he's been in New Orleans is really not too much to be excited about. We had the 9th pick, so we're really not going to get a top-tier quarterback because Shadur Sanders and Cam Ward will be going unless we plan on trading up in that top 3 to get one of them. Will Sam Dart fall to the 2nd round and we try to go get him? Who knows? Do you try to put faith and your energy into Spencer Rattler? I think that's a question that needs to be answered sooner than later. So the Saints are a long way away, man. They're gonna have to really, really hit on these draft picks in this year's draft to kind of start trending in the right direction. But I don't think this hire is something that NOLA fans and people that's close to the Saints organization is excited about.
Yeah, my first initial, it could be an overreaction. My first real takeaway from the press conference, from the couple minutes I was watching, very good at deflecting, right? Don't want to answer the question. He can get around it. I mean, he's good at telling you only what he wants you to know. And that's got me wondering, G, like that could just be great coach speak. But I mean, not a lot of coaching experience. This is his first role. I'm worried about him being the mouthpiece for the Saints front office. And I feel like if he could go in and do things his way and kind of find his own scheme, they could be in a successful spot. But I mean, if Mickey Loomis is still here pulling reins and pulling strings, I don't know if it's going to work out. I want to pick your brain on this, though. Derek Carr, I don't know exactly the cap hit. It's damn near what, 30 to 50 million? You don't think they can cut him? Get rid of him. What do you think? Perfect scenario: Saints run him next year, and he's kind of average, and you can kind of struggle to the playoffs. What do you think is the best case scenario? You don't want to see him cut him off the books entirely.
Nah, it's too much. It's gonna be too much dead money.
Okay.
On the books, man, to just let him go. So you might as well roll with him. And just see if Kellen Moore could kind of get some kind of production out of him. And look, I don't think Derek Carr is horrible like most Saints fans feel. I think he struggles with leadership. I think he struggles with accountability. And hopefully that's something Kellen Moore could bring to the table and get him to be better at. Because it seems to me that his teammates don't believe in him. It seems to me that he has a way of deflecting and taking the blame off him when you see him in his press conference. And that's something that a lot of fans pay attention to these past couple of years with Derek Carr. So it kind of makes you, if that's my teammate, it doesn't make me want to run through a wall for you on Sundays. So I think it's those little intricate parts of him that if he can fix those things, could probably get his team going in the right direction, man. So we'll see, man. If Kellen Moore could fix Derek Carr in any way and get into play at some type of high level where we could win the division or get into the playoffs, man, I would be very, very surprised. But we'll see. Stranger things have happened.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you too, did you see all the stuff on Twitter with Derek Carr's brother talking crazy pretty much? Ian Rappaport came out and was like, look, this is what happened when Kellen Moore played Derek in college. They showed the side-by-side box score. And I mean, like, there's not a lot of context. It just shows Kellen Moore having a better performance. And then I think it was Darren Carr. I mean, he took it and ran with it, did a full career comparison, showed off the 4 Pro Bowls to none. I mean, I think personally, there's 2 things I could take away from this. One, that one was a little just too far. I mean, bro, it's just one small comment. 2, if I'm a Saints fan and I'm watching Super Bowl week and I'm watching all the coverage and I'm watching Jameis Winston walk around and have a hell of a time, Drew Brees walk around and have a hell of a time and represent the city, Sean Payton do it, even being a damn head coach in a new spot, the whole entire new state, whole entire new region, new conference. And you see him, Brian Breesy, Spencer Rattler. Gee, where the hell was Derek Carr? Where was he? It didn't seem like, to me, Derek Carr was representing New Orleans the way that a franchise quarterback should. Now, obviously, the city definitely says some things he probably don't like. Guess what, G? Tough shit. You get paid enough. You're a franchise guy. You're in this role. Gee, some people say stuff to us in the comment section. You know what we do? Let it roll off the back. We still here giving our takes, talking sports. I think he should have walked around the convention center at least one time, at least did a couple of radio appearances to make it seem like he's bought in. I didn't get the vibe that he was bought in, and that's what I guess worried me a little bit. What was your reaction to that? You think that's like a big deal, not that big of a deal? What was your reaction?
If I was advising Derek Carr, I would have told him to not be on the scene in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, because I think it would have did him more bad than good. Okay. I just feel like the city of New Orleans and the fans are kind of fed up with Derek Carr, and he doesn't seem like the type of person that will be able to walk around with his family or whoever he's with and be able to have thick skin. I just don't think he did good with that. And so it was best for him to just stay off the scene and not be present with the Super Bowl going on. Because, the fans can get really, really personal, if you will. So I thought it was smart for him not to be around.
Okay. And you think they probably had like a conversation with him, the Saints all on the same page and all that. And then like
I don't necessarily know if they had a conversation with him. I just think, him and his camp, his agent and whoever, he listens to far as like when it comes to making decisions. I think they just had a talk before the Super Bowl and say, man, I think it's just best if you're not around. Don't even put yourself through that kind of scrutiny.
Yeah, you're right. Especially because you might know exactly the reaction you're going to get, But you never know. Definitely interested to see how it plays out, because when he said he's excited to work with him, my first thought was, oh, yeah, he's staying. Derek's staying.
That's the politically correct thing to say. I would have said it too.
Got to.
Knowing in the back of my mind, I wish we could move on from this guy, but when you got to pay him $40 million, it is what it is.
That's that deflection that he's so good for. That's that ability he got. Kellen Moore stood on that podium. He already knew it was coming, and he was able to just curveball right back at you. Another person, I'm about to change it to a different topic, but we're talking about speaking and not trying to, it's kind of like smoke screens when you're talking, right? Trying to give away too much. Joe Burrow did it a little bit on First Take, and he was talking about wanting to pay T. Higgins. I just don't think that is physically possible from a financial standpoint. Now, let me explain it a little more. One, Joe Burrow's getting paid out the ear. So, I mean, if he took a little bit off that contract, maybe. But as of right now, if nothing changes, Jamar's getting a bag. He deserves a bag. He needs a bag. It's been coming, long time overdue. You need to pay him. Triple Crown. What else you need to see? I don't think there's anything else left to talk about. Jamar's getting a huge deal. Joe's got the huge deal. And then I'm going to advocate for Trey Hendrickson getting one because the Saints fans know what kind of talent they lost in that. And the Bengals don't need to go down that road. Don't lose somebody that's a perennial talent. Yeah, I said it. And I think that rushing in the league is so valuable. Now, you just watch the Eagles with a natural 4 push, quite frankly, one of the best teams in the NFL around, especially in recent memory. I mean, the Chiefs are the standard of excellence, and the Eagles just went out there and absolutely demolished them. And I mean, yeah, the offense did good. They dropped 40, but that pressure was everything. I think it's a clear-cut path for the Bengals to get back to the playoffs. You got to build that defense up. And you don't start doing that by letting your best piece go. I think T. Higgins leaving, yeah, it's going to create some confusion. Yeah, Jamar can't, be as free. They might be able to single in on him more on that defensive plan side. But guess what, G? If you go grab a decent enough wide receiver, let's go get McMillan. Let's go get somebody else. They're going to draw some attention. I don't think you need to pay $20 to $30 million to T. Higgins to get some attention. I think T. Higgins is probably going to have to find a new home in free agency, and it's nothing bad. This happens. You know what I'm saying? I think the crew you got to keep together here is pretty obvious. What's your take on the T. Higgins situation, and what do you think about all that?
There's no way they could pay T. Higgins between $25 to $30 million and then double back and go pay Jamar Chase between $35 to $40 million. Pay Joe Burrow, pay Trey Hendrickson. It ain't gonna happen. Especially with how bad their defense was this year. They gotta go get some better players on that side of the ball. Do they want to lose T. Higgins? Absolutely not. But it's a business, man, and it is what it is. I've been hearing that the Packers and the Patriots are gonna throw that bag at T. Higgins. So his days are numbered in the black and orange, man. So that's gonna free up a spot on the other side of Jamar Chase, man. I've been talking about it, man. I would love to see Kyron Lacy from LSU get picked by the Bengals and go be that number 2 inside Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow throwing in the rock. I think that would be a great situation.
And that's a situation that you ain't doubling. Have fun doubling Jamar Chase with Kyron Lacy is on the other side. I mean, I think Jamar will play the X and Kyron play the Z. Is that how that's gonna work?
Yep.
You ain't doing that. You ain't scheming that out of there. That's all I gotta say. You got me hyped talking about the Packers getting T. Higgins because it's in the back of my mind, G. It's in the back of my mind, and I would love to see it because we do need a very big dog at wide receiver. And I ain't gonna say we need a wide receiver 1 because I think I ain't gonna disrespect Reed or Wicks or Watson or nobody. I love them all, but Josh Jacobs said it during Super Bowl week. He said we need a big target at wide receiver to help share the love. You got your quarterback done. The tight end and Tucker is dog too. Josh is nice. Your defense is nice. You one of the younger squads. You got the money. You got the move. Let's go ahead and grab some guys. Let's keep it Packers related though. Let's talk Aaron Rodgers real quick. He's out of New York, out of the Jets. They're gonna part ways with him. They did their little thank you post for I think a season and a half or a season .1 that they got from him. The fact that there's odds on his next team was kind of mind-boggling to me because I thought initially it's retirement. I mean, we had years in Green Bay when he was at the end where you were confused on if he was going to come back or not. Every year felt like a new decision. Every year felt like he had to regroup and just hash it out. I'm surprised that he would 100% be, maybe not even 100%, but that he would be interested in a third location. It's going to take so much, I feel like, to get him to a point where he's even, competitive in the NFL in the playoff regard. I think he should call it quits. I think he should hang it up. Big Aaron Rodgers fan. And I'm not talking from a sour grape perspective, mad that he left the Packers. I'm talking from a legacy perspective where the longer you stay in and the longer that you do things like this, the worse your legacy and your image gets. I mean, it's not like it's the UFC where you're 35 and you're getting beat all on the octagon and stuff, but you're getting sacked. You're still getting hurt. You're still waking up, getting pushed around. I don't know if it's worth it anymore, G. I mean, the odds have them. They got all kind of odds. They got the Steelers as the favorite for his next team. You got the Vikings in there with the damn Brett Favre path, which would be insane, by the way, going from Packers to Jets to Vikings in the same situation, too. I don't know. I say Aaron Rodgers, hang it up, man. It's done. What do you think?
I'm with you on that, man. Just go ahead and call it a career. Father Time is undefeated. These last 2 years have not went the way he anticipated. You tore your Achilles the first year, and then this year it was just atrocious the way you and the Jets organization perform. And so, man, just go out, ride off into the sunset. I know you probably want to chase that one more Super Bowl to kind of make your resume look really, really good, but it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. And I think him going to another organization and it doesn't work out again is going to taint his legacy. You already got people saying that He's not a good leader, and he places the blame on his teammates too much. Man, just go off and run off, go off in the sunset, man, and call it a career.
Yep. Because if not, they're going to turn on you quick. They're going to turn on you quick, and it gets grimy. Last topic. We're talking about the Steelers. We're talking about his quarterback moves. I saw something on Twitter yesterday, and I'm not going to give it a lot of credibility because these rumors, they get wild during the offseason. When you got nothing to talk about, you start digging. And apparently, the Steelers are making phone calls to Jacksonville to do they calling for Trevor Lawrence, G. And Liam Cohen just got hired, new head coach, coming from the Bucs. The number one thing that he was preaching in that press conference is he wants to build around T. Lawrence. How the hell would you let your franchise quarterback go? You just paid him all that money. I know a lot of people aren't sold on Trevor Lawrence. Who else you go and get? You got Mac Jones on the roster. I mean, maybe y'all seeing some things from him that I haven't seen, but gee, do you think them moving Trevor Lawrence, and maybe if it's for an insane trade deal, maybe I could see it. Do you think that's a good idea?
Man, look, this is a quarterback-driven league, and it's hard to find a franchise quarterback. It is. And I know Trevor Lawrence has not played up to the expectations, especially with the money he's getting paid, but a lot went into it, man. Like, the Jaguars organization has just been terrible the last few years. We thought Doug Peterson was going to uplift that franchise and get them back to the playoffs and contending for the AFC Championship, but things just did not have worked out like that. And I just think that you got to do everything in your power to make sure that Trevor Lawrence is not traded out of Jacksonville if you're the new head coach. You just can't let it happen, because now you're going to take a risk going and draft somebody and playing Russian roulette. Go ahead and keep Trevor Lawrence. They could throw me 3 first-round picks. I'm not getting rid of him. I'm sorry. I'm keeping Trevor Lawrence. I'm building around him, and we're going to get this thing figured out.
He's a winner. I mean, the dude wins. I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty damn sure before he got to the NFL, G, I don't think he had lost a regular season game since high school. I think he won every game at Clemson with Dabo. I think he had won his whole senior year. I'm pretty sure that first loss he took in the NFL in the regular season was his first season loss in a minute. This dude's got it. Everything you need. Poise, maturity, leadership qualities. He's got a great arm. I think he's got great mobility. You just got him, Brian Thomas. I mean, don't they have Evan Ingram? I mean, you got guys. You got guys over there. I don't think you blow this thing up. I agree. New coach, you just got him. Just signed him. Don't put him in a spot where he's regretting it.
Yep.
I think you could see a lot change if Trevor Lawrence went. And then what the hell are the Steelers doing? Don't y'all got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? Don't y'all got both of them? What are y'all doing calling for quarterbacks? What's happening over there? Is Russell Wilson about to call it quits too?
I would love to see the Saints trade for Justin Fields, and you probably can get it for cheap.
Yeah. Especially if they start Russell. If Russell stays and Justin Fields is ready to go, because I feel like he balled. He had a good little run. For a while, Steelers fans were confused why he got benched for Russ. So yeah, if the Saints can make some shake for that, you have some excitement all over. How would you move that? You gonna have Derek Carr in the room potentially still?
Yep.
Give him that tutelage. Give him that experience.
And I'll put Derek Carr on like a 4-week, maybe 5-week plan. If it doesn't look up to the standard that I'm looking for, let's go Justin Fields. Let's go ahead and put you behind center, and we're going to start building for the future.
I got one last crazy question I got, Saints related. Now, let's say they're rocking with Derek Carr, and this is how we're expecting, and he's got one last year. If Devontae Adams moves because A-Rod's gone and he wants to play somewhere, you think that New Orleans can make that work? How is that situation going to play out with this cap?
Absolutely not. With our cap, we $70 million over the cap, bro. We can't do nothing. We can't do nothing.
Every year in that. It's every year.
We bad. We bad, and we've been bad.
We need some financial analysts or gurus to hit that. Like, you need the Mike Greenbergs, all the people that were in Tampa doing that with Tom and with Gronk and all that, all them cap space moves. Yeah, get them.
We've just been kicking the can for years and years, and now it didn't caught up to us.
Literally. The can done filled up with everything. All kind of gunk, pebbles, damn, rainwater. You got it all, bro. You got some damn algae in the can by now. That's how long you've been kicking that thing down the damn road. It's going to be rough. Saints fans, y'all in for a long season. But look, we'll be covering it. We got all the information for you. We got all the LSU information too. Spring ball, March 8th. Mark your calendars because we're going to be there diving it right into it, G. I'm going to get all the highlights for us. We get on live. We're breaking down the film. We're going to take everybody through our eyes. We're bringing you right through here. right through the Notre Dame brain at G-Sportz. Y'all gonna love. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate your time, G. You got anything for you hop out of here? Let them know you win the district. Put the ring up, man.
Huh?
Talk about your team win the district. Your interview on Instagram.
Oh yeah, man. My middle school team, man, we won district champs for the second year in a row. I'm proud of my team, man. Proud of my guys, especially my 8th graders that's moving on to high school. Went through a lot this year with this team, a lot of challenges and a lot of adversity. So it was remarkable to see us still be able to win a championship with the things that we had to endure.
You still gonna coach next?
Probably so. I'm really excited about my group that's coming back. I got some good 6th and 7th graders that's returning that I'm super excited about. So yeah, man, we're gonna try to go for that 3P next year.
I'm calling Pat Riley right now. I'm getting the 3P lessons. We getting the merch ready. You know what's coming.
Yep.
3P. Let's get it. Appreciate your time. Appreciate everybody watching. Y'all give G a follow at G_sport. Hit the subscribe button on both channels on YouTube. You know the drill. This is G-Sportz Verdict Takeover. We've been talking about it, but I think this finally do it. It's up. This is all year, G. Y'all have a good weekend. Hit the thumbs up. Have a good one.